Hey everybody, usually I talk because I used to teach, so I don't mind talking. Anywho, my name's Jake Scruggs, I'm married to this one, this is Laura Force Scruggs, and we made this thing together. It literally started about 4 years ago when the store was closing, and I suggested, I had this old camera, this old Nikon camera that if you see the parts that are out of focus, those are the parts shot on a Nikon camera. And you can hear this little click, 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 click. That's the autofocus trying to figure it out. Aww. It's trying. Anyway, so yeah, what I usually do is I stall for a little bit until you think of a question, and then I start taking questions from the audience. So Laura, do you have anything you want to say?
Well, it was January of 2014, and I got a call from Holly Quirk, one of the employees at Uncle Fun, telling me it was closing. They said they were calling all the regulars, and I was there like every week most of the time. Like, not literally, but half the years of my life, pretty much, I spent at Uncle Fun. But I really, really want to encourage everyone to come visit him in Baltimore. His gift shop there, called Sideshow, at the National Museum for Untrained Artists, the American Visionary Art Museum. Do you want to say anything about your store?
Well, first I want to thank you for doing the film. And as I had said before, anything you do that comes from your gut and your heart, you can't lose. And the film was great. For me, I'm so happy I'm still living. It was like going to
We really tried to stress he's still alive. We got a lot of feedback about that it feels like a memorial. I know.
It was so touching, and to see how a little store and a little guy has affected so many people. It's really touching, and I'm glad that I had a super fan that put it all together, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you.
I think if anybody has a question, it'd be easier for us to answer them.
Do you want to sit down? I do. Sit down.
Yes, sir.
More of a, I don't really have a question, but thank you so much for the film. It conjured up so many memories, and going there, my kids just adored going there, and my nephews and nieces, and it was always the first place they wanted to go. I think really, thank you, Ted. Some of the memories that came up, and I worked through divorce in your store. I worked through drug addiction. Some really, I thought, my darkest times, and you were always there for support. And, things couldn't be better today. You talked a lot about it. And, all the stuff is really cool to get. But I think, having an example of a warm, caring human being, I feel really grateful that I got that opportunity, so thank you.
I appreciate that. And I'm glad I was there for a lot of people, because a lot of people were there for me when I needed that. And I think it's a really, really important thing that people realize that other people are there, and oftentimes they don't. And I think that in my small circle, if I treat everyone like I want to be treated, everything's fine. And if you treat people how you want to be treated, everything's fine. And then pretty soon all the small circles will come together and it'll be one big circle. So I'm glad I was there.
Yes.
I have a comment. One of the first times I was in Chicago, I want to say maybe it was one of your early stores. Did it say you had a store on Broadway at some point?
I started
Goodies.
one of the goodies.
Okay, so I was visiting a friend, and I decided to go for a walk, and I got lost. I didn't know where I was, and my directions are always challenged even to this day, and I wandered into your store. And it was such a fun surprise, and when I was leaving, you gave me a free gift and it was a compass ring. And I was like, I need this because I'm lost. I don't know what direction I'm going. And so it got me back to my friends.
And funny
Thank
story,
you.
on the way to Chicago Filmmakers, we took the train, and I came with my husband Bill, and I wish I had that because I said, I think this is north, and he goes, no, that's south. And we've gotten to each other pretty comfortable, so if I say, let's go this way, he goes, no, we should go that way.
Exactly.
So I hope that I can find my old compass ring too.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think there are a bunch of little compasses in one of the containers out there. A lot. So.
Funny story, Laura and I have the same relationship with directions.
Terrible. I'm usually exactly wrong. If I say it, then do the opposite, please. Yeah.
It's not bad advice.
And Laura just was talking about there's some little compasses out there, but there's a really big goodie table out there. So everybody's encouraged to fill a bag full of goodies.
Nice.
And all the way from Baltimore is our famous burger cookies. So there's a whole table of those, so make sure you take those. They're really wild. It's just a shortbread cookie, real thin, and it's only there to hold the chocolate. But it's the burger cookie famous from Baltimore.
Oh, we found out last night, speaking of circles, that the building that Uncle Fun was housed in before Uncle Fun was there, it was another location of Chicago Filmmakers. Yeah, I just found this out last night.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yes, it was on Belmont, as you guys know. And it was their pop-up shop for Chicago Filmmakers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Circles.
Yeah.
More circles.
Anybody else?
Yeah, mine's not a comment either, but I wanted to thank you. My oldest daughter's 35, and I had her birthday party at Goodies. You had the table there, and the kids, their goodie bags were, they just had a little bag, and they got to pick a certain, I don't know how much I gave them, all to go through there, and then everyone discovered your store that way, and that was awesome. So I was so sad when you changed, but then you moved to Uncle Fun, so I still had you and always filled Christmas stockings up. I'm not even Christian, but I just love Christmas stockings for my kids. My kids now are 35, 30, and 28. And one year I tried to stop giving them stockings, and they get so mad, so I always do it. And then, one more thing. You had a garage sale once or something, and I went back, and I still wear, it was a shower cap that had steak all over it, pictures of steak. And I remember going to buy it, and this other girl was grabbing it, and she looked at me, she goes, I wish I had two heads. And so I still wear the shower cap when I take a shower, and I think, I wish I had two heads. I want to thank you. I had a lot of fun with my family, and it still goes on. I try to find things, but I wish your store was still there.
Come to Baltimore.
Okay.
That reminds me of a story. Laura and I, before we met, both decided for Christmas one year that you know what, everybody's getting Uncle Fun gifts. Who doesn't want a switchblade that's a comb? It's delightful. So it was a really funny thing to discover that later. Well, you were the super fan. I went there sometimes, right? But I didn't get a phone call when they were closing.
John Frigo.
So, Laura, your aesthetic is kind of, more is better, kind of like.
Yeah.
And I know a previous version of this was much longer, and you went and shot more stuff, and then had to edit it down. Can you speak a little bit about how that push-pull worked?
So hard. I wanted to include everyone, and it was gut-wrenching. I mean, I got a lot of feedback that it was too long, so I thought an hour sounded pretty good. I got a lot of people who suggested that, and
There's going to be a lot of extras on the Blu-ray.
yeah, a lot of extras, definitely. Yeah, listed everybody, the credits, of course. So yeah, I'm not good at summarizing.
I was really impressed that she kept editing. She would get an edit together, film more, and then keep editing every day, every week. So there would it would get down to an hour 35, but then it would balloon up to hour 45, and then it would get down to an hour 20. And we're kind of chasing an hour. For a long time, we didn't think there was a possibility of an hour version.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
I could never do it. But once I got some feedback, the Chicago Documentarian Support Group, one of the biggest pieces was get the husband. So thank you, Bill, for doing that. And Ted gave me some recommendations of some close friends, like Too Cool Cynthia, who will be here later. And then I found out that one of the stores that was inspired by Uncle Fun to open a fun in the fun tradition, Big Fun, was closing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not even done with this documentary. Another fun store's closing. But it's reopening, partnering with the largest candy company in North America, Sweeties. So happy ending. But at the time, I'm like, Laura, you gotta finish this. And it's not going to be perfect. And I did my best. And I'm highly aware when something is like a little sharp edit or something, but I tried just several times as the best I could get it, you know? So.
I think we pushed iMovie to about its limits.
Yeah, with all the music.
In the back.
I loved it, Laura. And I love you so I'm so deeply. I'm so inspired as an artist. I think everybody should see this.
I agree.
So much.
It's good to be inspirational. Thank you for being here.
Yes, Dan Tovey.
I don't have a question, I just have more of a comment. I sometimes am resistant to documentary, but when I sit down and watch it, it's always so interesting because it may be a subject that I think I know everything about, but then you learn stuff and you're brought into, you know, a whole nother world. And as I was, just like the two of you, a frequent shopper at Uncle Fun, sometimes for fun, sometimes for theater productions where you could find things that you couldn't find anywhere else. You know, it's another thing where I thought I knew, you know, that I knew the story, and that like when the shop closed, you probably were the one who told me. You know, I remember thinking, mistakenly, I remember thinking, oh, that's too bad. They're going out of business because, you know, they're not doing as well anymore or anything like that. And part of what I got out of the film was, towards the end of it, I started to think, you know, this is like the Beatles. You know, it's Uncle Fun was like the Beatles. You know, in that, like, I'm a huge geek for 60s and 70s music, and when I think of all the bands that are still around and playing, it's not as special anymore. But the Beatles, people always said, well, you know, if they came back, you know, they would make so much money, or they would do this, or they would do that. But it was about a specific time and a specific place and certain people, and that's what made it special. And, you know, on that same wavelength, part of what the movie shows, or at least what it says to me, is sometimes the importance of letting go and evolving, and, you know, certain things don't ever really go away, they just take different forms. So yeah, I mean, it's very inspirational and wonderful, wonderful job. Just
Thank
wonderful
you.
job.
It's my favorite teacher, Dan Tovey. Jake and I met in his theater class at Act One Studios downtown when it was open. So he's my favorite teacher. Yes, Charles.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
I just want to say, well, first of all, I saw the first version of this, and I really love this version too. So I thought it was great. I just wanted to tell a short story. I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Georgia. But I remember I figured this out recently, that one of my friends used to talk about Uncle Fun. One of my friends who's in Chicago when I was in Georgia, like years ago. So I didn't make that connection until recently, but I kind of like it blew my mind. So it's far-reaching. The circles they move out. But I just wanted to ask. I think I sort of know this story, but I wanted to know, like, when did you decide to make a documentary, and what made you decide, like, that's the way I want to go about telling the story, and like how did that spark happen?
Oh, this is just my husband's idea. It really wouldn't have occurred to me to make one. I knew I wanted to do something when I found out the store was closing, but I didn't know what I was going to do. As far as the way to tell it, I had no idea how I was going to do it. But then the theme kept emerging that he was literally the one for so many people. You know, his husband and the founder and director of the Visionary Art Museum American Missionary Art Museum. I mean, the first time she met him for a couple minutes, she knew he was the one to run the gift shop. And so he was the one for me to make a documentary about. And then after a while, I felt like I had a decent arc, you know, background about the store, what it meant to a lot of people, and then the history, goodies, and then how it lives on today in other stores and what he's doing now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty unfocused for a while. It was a lot of interviews that we didn't know how to organize. And Laura's done a really good job, like adding some sort of narrative to this.
Well, it was really non-linear, and that's how I wanted it to be. And I was like, okay, this is hard to follow for a lot of people. I really resisted structure. It's hard for me. So, yes, Lori.
Note, I feel the need to represent the voice for people who may not have had any prior experience with you, Uncle Fun. I grew up in the suburbs, but never heard of you. I'm so sorry. I didn't move into the city until I got married, and that we didn't cross paths apparently. But just kudos on being a wonderful individual, and kudos on capturing. I feel like, Laura, you really caught the essence and the aura of a person I now care about, and that I really felt I related to. So I just want to thank you both for being willing to do this project, because you really brought a lot of warmth and cheer to people who it's not nostalgic for. It's fresh here today, brand new message. So thank you both for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, some things, I know I've said this many times to you, but just thank you for letting me do this, because, I mean, this is like one of the hardest things that ever happened to you, and you let me document it. I mean, I really appreciate that permission and that trust. I mean, I'm just this girl that freaked out in the store all the time. You didn't know what I was going to do, but you just said yes, and you didn't have to do that. And it's like one of the hardest parts of your life. Oh yeah, could I document it? You know? Oh, I mean, that must not have been easy. So.
No, you're a joy to work with.
Thanks. No, I'm not easy. It's very stressful. I was very nervous a lot of the time. But yes, Vicki.
Hi, I just had a thought, and I wonder, Ted, if you could answer this. So, I mean, so many of us were in your store 1,000 times and identify so much with it. I'm just wondering if the people who come to your shop in Baltimore have that same identification. You were such a fixture in Chicago because you had moved from one store to another. I think for 25 years, I came to your store with all 3 of my kids. You saw my kids growing up. Do you feel that the Baltimore store has that same feeling?
I think all of my stores have that feeling, and that feeling, I believe, comes from me.
Yeah, right.
And I think they all have the same look. I love starting a store and having old fixtures, because I think as soon as you walk in, you feel comfortable. You don't have to worry that you're safe. And for me, the safe space is a wonderful space to be in. I think it's a little different because in a museum, you get a lot of people who are just coming in for the museum, but they sort of come in wanting to talk about what they've seen or what you have in the store, and I hope they leave as friends. And I think, like the stores here, I'm getting a pretty good reception from people who actually live in the city, because if you want to come shopping, it's free to come shopping in the museum. You just tell them you're coming shopping. And I really enjoy, as we were talking before, people coming in and feeling safe to tell you how they're feeling or share their feelings. And I'm sort of a safe person to talk to, because I'm pretty empathetic and want to listen to people when they're really happy or they're really sad, and it's okay. And I think that part of my store hopefully continues.
Yeah, I've been there 4 times. It definitely does. Yeah. Yes.
Laura, I'm wondering if you can tell us about the first time you went to Uncle Fun's and how you discovered it. Tell us
Sure.
about that experience.
Yeah, I was living in Normal, Illinois, and I was working at State Farm Day Camp for the summer as a counselor. And my co-counselor, Stacy Gardner, and I came up on the Amtrak train, and we were going to the Bailiwick, which is now Theater Wit, and it was Pride Week, which it is now, Pride Month, yeah. And they were doing a Midsummer Night's Dream. So 2 guys end up together, 2 girls end up together. And so we had a lot of time before the play. I'm usually early for things. And we just found the store by chance. And well, I believe it was meant to be, but I didn't know it was there until we found it. And I just was like, I have to find this place again when I moved here. That was like late 90s. I moved here November of 98. But I found this, I tell the story, this is what my main thing. I found a sparkly green star ring, and I threw it off a bridge, and I made a wish, and it came true. I got to date this boy for a while. It wasn't Jake, so it's good to work out. So that's how I found it. Thanks for asking. Anybody else? Yes.
Hey, Ted is psychic because I would drive in from the south suburbs, and even if I put on a happy face, Ted would say to me, "Cy, that's my name, what's wrong?" And he had 2 other stores nearby, Flypaper and Paperboy. And I thought all Ted's employees were great, but one manager of Paperboy just didn't like me, and that bothered me. Because I used to want everyone to like me, but then a friend said to me, "Cy, you're not pizza." I don't know. Ted addressed it immediately. That just showed me how he cares about people. And Ted, take a bow. And second thought, take 2.
All right, here's a bonus story that Laura doesn't usually like me telling. So Billy, the guy who was, talking about healthcare, and you saw him, and he's all over the documentary, and he's a fixture at that store, used to flirt outrageously with Laura.
And everybody else who came to the store.
Yeah, but I'd be right there, so it was kind of like, hey now. But that's who he was. So it took me a while to come back around on Billy. I was like, I didn't like that guy for a while. It's all right. I'm all right with him now. And he's married to Alicia, who's the hip hop bunny girl.
And Unicorn Girl, yeah.
And now live in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think the microphone stopped working.
Yeah, I might have broken it. All right.
Anybody else?
Yes,
I'll
Vicky.
just tell you a funny Billy story. So, he was a fixture in the store, and I would go in there to buy items. And Billy never looked at the price. He would just set everything out, and he would go, $14.68. And he would just, he just picked out a number, and I would say, oh, okay, it's actually like, no, $14.68. So it was just classic. You never really knew what you were going to pay for something when you went home.
I'm going to tell him that story.
And apparently he owes you some money.
Well, Ted definitely does that, and please, take goodie bags when you go, or before you go, whenever.
Oh yeah,
while
take
you're
goodie
here.
bags. I gotta take that all back to my house if you don't take that. So
But
grab some
Ted did
goodies.
not charge me hardly anything for it, so thank you. Thank you. And State Street stuff and Big Fun, everyone gave me humongous discounts, so it's really nice.
I think we gotta wrap this up because we got.
Yeah, the next thing. Okay, thank you so much.
I would like to recognize some other friends of ours in Chicago that have come and gone, but did great things while they were here. There was Shake, Rattle, and Read, and there was Flashbacks, and there was the House of Monsters, and there was Chris and Heather's Record Roundup. Yeah. In the beginning, there was fun. Hey, baby, we like your toys. Fun. Hey, baby, come on and feel this noise. All aboard for fun time. Fun! Last night I was down in the basement. Fun! Talking to Count Chocula and his crew. Whoa, but for fun time. Fun! Everybody, we want in. Fun! We want some. Don't have ugly children gum, and he didn't have any. Oh, boy, for fun time. Let's all go to Uncle Fun. Good times there for everyone. It's the funnest place in town, there is no doubt. You got things you don't need but can't live without. It's take your bar mitzvah geld in your next week's pay. Get some fake dog poop and some fart spray. So all go to Uncle Fun. Purple glitter in a barrel and boxing nuts. It's your one-stop pop rocks destination. And it's a hot pink rat fink celebration. And it's an uptight black light situation. 'Cause we all live in Uncle Fun Nation. Let's all go to Uncle Fun. Good times there for everyone. It's the funnest place in town, there is no doubt. They got things they don't need but can't live without. They got things they don't need but can't live without. They got things they don't need but can't live without. At Uncle Fun. Down at Uncle Fun. Yeah. So maybe I'll do this one. You know, I've got bunnies in my yard. Do you have bunnies in your yard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, so this is for the rabbits in Chicago. Peter Rabbit and Goldilocks down at Belden Deli eating bagels and lox. Along comes Tennessee Ernie with his trusty gun and he goes, everybody run, Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit, he'll be hopping along. Peter Rabbit and little boy Blue eating Krispy Kremes with Mr. Magoo. Along come Tennessee Ernie with his trusty gun and he goes, everybody run, Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit, he'll be hopping along. Peter Rabbit and the little red hen eating Krispy Kremes down at WGN. Along come Tennessee Ernie with his trusty gun and he goes, everybody run, Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit, he'll be hopping along. Well, listen, everybody, I got a story for you. It's just a little something that you ought to do. As you go through life, well, don't be a fool. If you want to pass a test, then you gotta play it cool, yeah. Well, my mama said, and she was right, stay away from girls every night. I says, oh, poor boy, he was a square. Old Davy Crockett, he lived in the woods. He never, ever heard of store-bought goods. Had no leather jacket or tight-fitting pants. Well, he could have been a cat, but he never stood a chance, no. Just shooting Mexicans every day. Santa Ana had his say. He said, oh, I've seen squares before, but Irving here is a floating checkerboard. Yvonne. Now Tarzan lived in the jungle all alone. He had nothing to eat but dinosaur bones. Never had supper from a China plate. Well, what a price to pay to be king of the apes, yeah. Well, he never been to a John Battles concert, never been to Uncle Fun or seen the Frankenstein monster. Oh, poor boy. Forsooth, forsooth, Yvonne, he was a square already. Okay, I'm gonna try to do something on my own, but go to Hell's Fried Chicken, but you can't eat it in. Go to Hell's Fried Chicken, but you can't eat it in. Got bulletproof glass to seal that flavor in. Go to Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, go to Hell's Fried Chicken. Go to Hell's Fried Chicken, but you can't eat it in. Some people eat their Harold's on the train. Some people take their Harold's on the train. It's gonna stink so good, it's gonna nullify your brain. Go to Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, go to Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, go to Hell's Fried Chicken, but you can't eat it in. I like my Harold's half dog with hot sauce on it. I like my Harold's half dog with hot sauce on it. They ain't like Wiener's Circle, ain't got no bees in their bonnet. Go to Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, go to Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, Hell's Fried Chicken, but you can't eat it. The way I love me that Hell's, you know it's a doggone sin. Thank you. All right. I'll be doing more originals than in the next set. I'm doing 15, and then Capitan Ambivalent is, and then I am again, and he is again. Just if it wasn't on your program when you walked in the door. Frankenstein created go-go girls. Frankenstein created go-go girls. They got everybody shaking in this world. Frankenstein created go-go girls. Well, he went to a dance hall. Nobody doing a thing. Except all the buffies and the skippies doing the salsa swing. Now when he flips that switch, the twister's gonna be the king. Frankenstein created go-go girls. Frankenstein created go-go girls. The hair is straight, it won't care. Frankenstein created go-go girls. Well, the monster had a pride, but she put him in his place. Held out his hand and said, friend, but you hissed right in his face. Now with the go-go girls, he's twisting all over the place. Well, the monster and the doctor and Eagle are in cahoots. They made the go-go girls bone white, human skin go-go boots. And the coffin bustier make a man cry 96 tears. They're shooting real live bullets from their 40D bullet braziers. But when the Lindy Hop stops to realize your wildest fears, Frankenstein created go-go girls. Frankenstein created go-go girls. They got everybody twisting in this world. Frankenstein created go-go girls. Trust, God, swag, bad. Okay, I don't know how we're doing for time. If you like a short one, that sounds like a loaded question, I'm sorry. If you like a short one and it's cool, we'll give you one. Chicago, her hometown in Chicago. She left me in Chicago. Hey, 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 hey. She gone to stay in Chicago. She wanna grow old in Chicago. She'll never leave Chicago. Hey, 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 hey. I tried everything, but she just won't go. I said, I love you, I need you, I want you so much, don't you know? What would I do? She said, I love Chicago more than you. Chicago, I turn to leave Chicago. I walk away from Chicago. I better forget Chicago. Hey, 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 hey. I'm frozen, I'm frozen, I'm frozen, I'm frozen. Suki Saki, Suki Saki, hoi, hoi, hoi. Suki Saki, Suki Saki, hoi, hoi, hoi. Suki Saki, Suki Saki, hoi, hoi, hoi. That song came from Germany, that's why I did that bit there, but it's true. I was freezing last night, who else? I didn't mean it like that, I just meant it like I'm waving my hand.
Let's have one more round of applause for John Battles.
Yeah, I do too. Which is good. I think it's a good role. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I met Laura, we were in a small group together, and she was just starting working on this, so it's fun having me here. She was talking about yeah, yeah. Is that not like
I think he's fine. It's great to play with children. A lot of people leave with their kids before I start, which isn't anything personal. It's like record store day. Everybody had to go somewhere else. Can you really?
This is cool.
I'll show you another trick. If you can make
We did also do this out west for someone in Texas, so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You do it. See, watch. This is how you do it. You just make two fingers like that.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
Good. Hang on.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
That's
Hilarious. See, that was not. You would go like to certain steakhouse restaurants, and they would have like a really big, like rocking chair that everybody sat in.
Yeah.
Sure, but that was it. Like nothing.
Yeah, this is this. It's the kind of place where it's, if you
See the star in the moon?
I feel like I missed out. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. Ours, we always went to festivals in Texas, which like are not anything compared to the festivals in Chicago. We always went to polka festivals because my parents were Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There weren't gigs involved, but if I could play one instrument, I would do it.
Thank you. Try not to ruin it. Well, if you're standing there on the outside, if you're standing there on the outside, if you're standing there on the outside, come on in, come on in. If you like your laughs on the outside, if you make your art on the outside, if you're documenting the outside, come on in. If a laugh is trapped inside your heart, or you simply have to try so hard, like a documentary to start, you'll find everything you need to get what's inside, outside, inside. So if you're standing there on the outside, if you're standing there on the outside, if you're standing there on the outside, come on in. Do I need the microphone? Can you hear okay?
Yeah.
Back? Excellent then. Electronic schmonics. Oh, the pure power of the accordion of gold. Yes, I cruise art galleries, just checking out the foxy paintings. They say embrace the arts, but when I try, they will not let me. Classical, realist, and impressionist get the most attention, but I think I'm falling for a woman in the abstract section. Hey, crazy Picasso lady, why can I catch your eye? What? How can I tell if you look my way? It's really kind of hard to say, 'cause crazy Picasso lady, why can I catch your eye? When I catch your eye, and I don't know why, but I better move fast 'cause it's starting to slide down your face. Crazy Picasso eyes look down on me unevenly. Oh, can't you hear a word I'm singing? Her tiny lips won't smile, she cannot hear, she has no ears. Her face would melt a clock in a painting by another artist. Hey, crazy Picasso lady, why do you look so fine? Think you've been framed, you ought to be free, so get off the wall and dance with me tonight. Crazy Picasso lady, crazy Picasso lady, crazy Picasso lady, yeah, yeah, baby. Crazy Picasso lady, crazy Picasso lady, crazy Picasso lady, yeah, yeah, baby, yeah. Now, I'm sure that we can all testify about the power of the proper novelty item to increase your attractiveness to the gender of your choice. True story. The first time a woman made a pass at me, I was wearing a propeller beanie on top of a hooded yellow poncho with a paper beak under my glasses. It was summer camp, they had an animal dance, that was my chicken costume. The only thing I said all night was, rock. She asked if I wanted to dance. I said, rock. She said, you're hilarious. I said, rock. She said, where did you get those glasses? But they were just my normal glasses. And all I could say was, rock. What did she see in me? Inside the chicken costume. What did she see in me? Propeller beanie spinning in the wind. What did she see in me? Inside the chicken costume. How could she know who I really am? She put her arms around my neck on a fast song. Said, slow down, you're so hyper. She tried to make me dance like it was a slow one and held on a little tighter. Then she reached down and pinched my butt right through that yellow poncho. The only thing that I could say was, whack! And then I ran away. What did she see in me? Inside the chicken costume. What did she see in me? Propeller beanie spinning in the wind. What did she see in me? Inside the chicken costume. How could she know who I really am? How could she know who I really am? You know, yeah, like all of Uncle Fun's stores, I think I like to give people a little bit of everything. This is a cover of a song called Everything. When you've heard it, you can say you've heard everything. When I'm done, then I can say I've done everything, though everything has all been done before. So if you're wondering if you can hear everything, you're in luck because I think I know everything. So if you look at me and say you want everything, I'll look right back and give you everything. Was it everything you hoped for? Was it everything you need? When this is over, I'll have given you everything. This is the story of a song called Everything. The guy that wrote it is that guy who wrote everything. He went to Vegas, I'm afraid he lost everything, and then his wife discovered everything. She called her lawyer up and asked for half of everything, but they worked it out, I guess that covers everything. So if your server asks you how was everything, I hope you say that everything was fine. Was it everything you hoped for? Was it everything you dreamed? When this is over, I'll have given you everything. But if you say that you would rather hear nothing, I can't play nothing cause I don't know nothing now. But if you walk away and leave me with nothing, I'll learn nothing till I see you once again. On that day then I will play you nothing. If you like it, I'll be like, oh shucks, it was nothing. If you don't, I'll cry boo-boo, cause there's nothing else to do, cause everything has all been done before. Oh, was it nothing you expected? Was it nothing like you dreamed? You wanted nothing, now I've given you everything. You wanted nothing, but I've given you everything. You wanted nothing, now I've given you everything. You wanted nothing, but I've given you everything. And just like, you know, if you use the proper novelty items to increase your attractiveness to the gender of your choice, you can also use cheap fart jokes if you need to deactivate that power. So take some time while you craft your mind to hear a song suggested by a kid who was 9. He said, sing about a guy who can fart so bad he can fly around the world in 12 bananas. But the mom said, wait, don't you think it might take a little bit more than 12 bananas? But the kid said, no, he can totally go around the world in 12 bananas. Now the other grown-ups showed revulsion. Why you gotta talk about butt propulsion? But the kid said, hey, it's just my way. In fact, I'm gonna sing about it every day. Gonna sing about a guy who can fart so bad he can fly around the world in 12 bananas. But the mom said, wait, don't you think it might take a little bit more than 12 bananas? But the kid said, no, he can totally go around the world in 12 bananas. apart, and you're soon alone. Some bodily functions are socially unacceptable. That's why I sing the bodily function song. Laugh, and the world will laugh with you. Belch, and you'll die alone. Some bodily functions are really gross to other people. That's why I sing the bodily function song. Oh, you may eat in public, don't secrete. In public, secretion should be secret, that's implied inside the name. Keep your privates private if they function, hide it. Insist that all your bosses do the same. No, if these questions confuse you, that's why I sing the bodily function song. Scat singing is fine, but other kinds of scat are not. So step on your sneeze, cover your mouth. Don't clip your nails, don't slip your snot. Don't leave your mouth open to chew, or no one will want to ride the bus with you. No, if these issues confuse you, that's why I sing the bodily function. That's why I sing the bodily function. That's why I sing the bodily function song. Almost out of time, but
One more.
for me, yeah, that means I can fit like 3 or 4 more songs. No. My songs are short. I write songs for short attention spans. Here's a hymn to summer that is also involves butts. I was lying on the beach, soaking up the heat, when suddenly a chill ran down my spine. I looked up to see a shadow over me, where the sun was eclipsed by your behind. Where the sun was eclipsed by your behind, your behind. Where the sun was eclipsed by your behind. Where the sun was eclipsed by your behind, your behind. Where the sun was eclipsed by your behind. Now, darling, do you mind? I don't mean to be unkind or offend you, cause you know I really care. But I'm trying to bask, so I just gotta ask, please could you move your derriere? Cause the sun is eclipsed by your behind, your behind. Yeah, the sun is eclipsed by your behind. Yeah, the sun is eclipsed by your behind, your behind. Yeah, the sun is eclipsed by your behind. So as you scoot away, I return to light of day, but now I feel my insides melt to mush. Cause in that light I see that I was meant to be in the shade of your Titanic tush. And if the sun is eclipsed by your behind, I don't mind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind, I don't mind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind. Now through this world of sand, we'll go marching hand in hand, and together face whatever is to come. When you're by my side, I know I can always hide, safe beneath the shelter of your bum. And if the sun is eclipsed by your behind, I don't mind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind. Like our love, it keeps growing all the time, all the time. So the sun is eclipsed by your behind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind, I don't mind. If the sun is eclipsed by your behind. Now I've got really odd tanning lines, but I'm fine if the sun is eclipsed by your behind. All right, that's it. Thank you. I'm Capitan Ambivalent.
Okay, Laura's indisposed. How about one big round of applause now for Captain Ambivalent?
I'll hold on the board.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
If I see something sweet, want something.
I'm excited to see it. I've already seen it. No, I think they took more of it, yeah.
That's cute.
Anything something in there? Anything good in that bag? Anything good in there? Oh, wow. All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, we live in
Okay. Yeah. Where is that?
Okay, I've got a spill and some busted glass, and I'm not wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Hold on, baby, it's time now. You know you want me, reach out, say you want more. Oh yeah, try hard to get me, scream real loud, make me feel good. Baby, I love you anyway now. Hold on, baby, it's time now. Reach out, every time you see me, seek out, say you want more, oh yeah, try hard to get me, reach out, make me feel good. Baby, I love you anyway now, oh anyway now. Hold on, baby, it's time now. Feeling a gooba speaking. Every time you see me clap on, I don't wanna clap. Baby, I love you anyway now, anyway now, anyway. Excuse me. Okay, we're changing the program. This is another place that was a spiritual home to some of us here, maybe. It was called the Lincoln Square Lanes, and Danny Don and the Polkahawks used to play there, and Rockin' Johnny used to play there, and I used to play there sometimes, or once, all right, you know. But anyway, they went down in a fire, and I say God bless the CPD. Seriously, though, they tried. There's a song by Alice Cooper lifted it from Leonard Bernstein, and I lifted it from them, so here it goes. I went out chatting, pussyfooting around till the break of dawn. Found me knocked down dead on my feet. Some feline beauty took my breath away. Well, I just had to stay. I couldn't get the blood off my bed. She made my eyes bug out, tail stand up, and I ain't even been in here for a month. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alley cat, you really got it made. Gutter cat, you bought 1,000 frames. Some bad cats from Donk House come down to our bowling alley. Well, we say that's cool, but just stay away from Danny Don and his boys. Eyes flash, eyes clash, feline fur goes flying. Midnight, cat bite, neck bite, dying. When you're a jet, all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. When you're a jet, let them do what they can. Little boy, you're a king. Little king, you're a man. The jets are in gear. Our cylinders are clicking. Russ Tamblin's still here. His ticker took a licking, but he's still kicking. Here come the jets like a bat out of hell. Someone gets in our way. Someone don't feel so well. When you're a jet, you stay a jet.
about a half a block north of Illinois.
Hey everybody, I'm Jake Scruggs. I'm the executive producer of Uncle Fun You're the One. This is my lovely wife, Laura Scruggs. We're going to stall for a little bit and babble while you think of questions. And Laura, would you like to say something to the audience about the film?
I just want to make sure everybody knows where Ted is now. It is the gift shop at the American Missionary Art Museum, the National Museum for Underrated Artists. I encourage you to please check it out.
What do you think about this woman? I know about you, but I've been crying in the corner. It's amazing to have a fan that is so excited about me and my store that she would take years to do this, and I think it's not great. I hope you guys liked it.
Uncle Fun, you're the one!
Okay, so thank you so much for coming out tonight. What questions?
Oh, wait, I got something. Okay, so you're watching the end and you're like, whoa, there's an after credits. Oh, there's another mid credits. So, did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Like, literally, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which had like 4 after credits scenes. And Laura went, that night she went home and edited all the extra scenes. So, there you go. Guardians of the Galaxy inspired.
Yes, Mitch O'Connell.
Just a compliment. I saw the rough cut, and which was fantastic and so heartfelt. And Ted is such an amazing subject, where it's such a feel-good film, where everybody's going to get something positive out of it and really feel better for watching it. But you made so many wonderful improvements in the editing and your choice of what you're going to be showing on the screen, so it quadrupled in filmmaking quality. I mean, the heart was equal to the rough to the version we're seeing now, but really impressive work you put into it.
Thank you. No, I'm not good at summarizing, so this was excruciating. Anybody else?
Early on in the film, Laura promised everyone that she interviewed. Look at that reaction. She promised everyone she interviewed they'd be in the film. And I kept saying, Laura, you can't promise that, right? It's a documentary, you're going to have to cut some people out. But early on, there was only like 5 people who wanted to be involved. Like, seriously, if you were one of those 5, thank you. Later, we had like 100 people. 70. It was a 2-hour, there were some 2-hour versions. Yeah, it was a little long. There was a lot of people saying how much they love the store, which is great, but it gets a little much.
I want to say thank you.
Rock! Thank you!
Do you love that body?
Yeah. You jealous of my body.
This is like the first time I officially met you. Take your shirt off at the store. That's great.
You want to see me do it again?
Look, anyone wants to see Dave without his shirt on, it's really easy to do. I really shouldn't have done that. There we go.
Are you jealous of my body? Yeah, I better put my jacket back on. This isn't one of my swing joints. You know, like Kramer says on Seinfeld.
Yeah, I don't think I actually spoke to him, but I saw his entourage. He's had like 3 documentaries made about him, but we were at Billy's house.
Vice Media did one too. That's like my 4th one. And Travis Hopefully from Chicago, and Jace Whitman and Chuck Jarman from Bumpin' the Night Productions, Stephen Taylor out there in California, and then Chris Kaler in Franklin, Wales. Chris Kaler from Chicago directed a documentary called Can't Stop the Rock Nelson. Yeah, he was the first.
Somebody's going to have to ask a question.
Thank
Keep
you.
talking. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Can you say a little bit more about your decision to do the documentary, how you approached Ted, what the conversation was like, stuff like that?
Well, the store was closing, and so the way I found out was I got a phone call from Holly Quirk an Uncle Fun employee. She said, we're calling all the regulars, so I was there like every week almost, like literally, not literally, but the number of years in my life, half of the years in my life I was going there about. So I couldn't go for a few days. I just couldn't bring myself to go, and then I wasn't sure what to do. And it was Jake who suggested we should do a documentary, you know, having never done any kind of film at all whatsoever before. And it's like, yeah. So then I asked for Ted's permission. He said yes. And I just started hanging out in the store and putting it on the cash register. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I had this old Nikon camera that shot video, sort of, and so all those shots that are out of focus, sorry about that, the camera wasn't very good. You could hear the autocorrect trying to get it. You hear this tick, 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 tick. That's the camera trying to focus. Not so good.
Yeah, so then we switched to the iPad.
So that iPad there, right there, that filmed all the good shots. Wow.
Cindy Aaron Holtz of State Street Stuff in St. Joseph, Michigan. Definitely check it out. Got her merchandise tonight as well as Brickerback.
I have a question for Ted.
Oh, good.
So Ted, at what point did you come to realize in your life how many people's lives you were touching?
About 2 minutes ago.
Follow that up with, because I'm doing something that was inspired by something that you started many, many, many years ago. I do recognize how, like, people can be, like, so depressed, or like somebody in the film talked about, this is where I came when my mom died. I hear comments like that all the time, and it's so fulfilling. I always tell people, you know, thanks. It's comments like that that keep me here standing on my feet all day at my age, you know. And I wonder, the personal question, but there was a lot of personal stuff in the movie. Did your family ever grow to be proud of you like the rest of the world is?
No.
Oh, why?
Never changed, but I think both of us realized that maybe we were sort of old-fashioned in our thinking, I believe. And in the olden days, you would go to a store and you'd hang out and you'd talk about things, and it's like going to a barber or a hairdresser, I guess, and you know your story's safe with them.
Sure.
So they probably come in your shop and they let things go that they wouldn't normally let go. And I think it's a good thing for us to do. In the museum, there's a project, I don't know if you guys have heard about, a book called Post Secret. It's a big project. And it was a guy from Maryland who went to a bookstore and he handed out 50 blank cards. And he asked people to send in their secrets anonymously. So there's no names, and people would decorate the cards, and they were, I think the most important one, or the one that's written most, is I pee in the shower. I'm embarrassed to tell people that. But Rebecca, the head of the museum, always starts the exhibit with 50 or so cards that were chosen to deal with the theme of the show in the museum. And the project now, he gets 2,000 or 3,000 letters a week. And it just shows you that people really want to get things off their shoulders and not have to worry about explaining it to somebody. And I think that's maybe what our stores do. People come in and they share a lot of stuff. And it's okay. So I think that we do a good service for people. And I love my customers, Chicago and Baltimore. And sitting behind you is Gloria, who was the surprise. She and her husband flew up to come, and Gloria is an artist, a self-taught artist, and she found out she was allergic to paint. So, you know how artists have to create. So she started painting with makeup. And now she's called the artist who paints with makeup. And pretty famous around the world now.
And I like to say that Ted gave him a start, he gave him a start, but he helped other artists too. He's just such a loving, kindly, and art helps heal. You all, and people need to know that. And Ted, I just like to say thank you and I love you. I like Laura, I like to say thank you for making this documentary. I like to thank your husband, because I know behind every good woman, there's a good man. And I like to thank Billy, okay, for being there for you, Ted. And I just think the movie is wonderful, and I wish more people can see it. I think it needs to go around the world.
Thanks so much for coming all the way from Baltimore. And Ted and... All right.
So there's this. So here I'm going to tell a funny story before everybody starts crying. There's this great scene. There's this scene where like this guy is kind of shot at a Dutch angle. He's out of focus and he's talking. And the beginning of that scene is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like Laura sets up the camera. The shot is perfect. It's in focus. And then like 40 seconds in the interview, it just goes out of focus. And then like the tripod fails, so it kind of goes like at a Dutch angle. It's like, it was just one of those things where it's like, she did everything right, but her equipment failed her. So we got better equipment, but it makes for sort of a nice, it makes for sort of mysterious, like, who is this man who's blurred out? Is he secret?
Is that Brett Neveau?
Sure.
Playwright. I think that's famous, yeah. Okay, yeah.
One more thing from me. I don't know if you saw when you came in, but there is a huge goodie table out there. And lots of bags, so fill them up. And all the way from Baltimore, burger cookies.
Yes.
So if anybody has
Yes.
you know it, if you haven't, it's sort of a shortbread cookie. It's a really thin, but its only reason is to hold up all the chocolate. So make sure you get a couple packages